Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday Eve. It's Thursday. Let's get excited for this lunch and learn with Dorothea Kelly. I am so excited to be here. We're going to take a second just to give people a minute to get on so that you can walk away from your desk if you're at work, so that you can grab your lunch, grab your coffee, whatever you need so that we can get these great nuggets from Dorothea and friends. So again, good morning, everybody. It is Friday Eve. Let's get excited. We're here in Detroit where the weather has gone from summer to winter, and now today we're back to spring. So we're excited here in the D. We're excited that Dorothea has launched her second book. I'm excited to be in her presence and have this opportunity to kick this lunch and learn off, where we are going to learn some great financial nuggets. So send a message to your friends, send a text out, tell everybody get on, take your lunch break now, because we're about to get some good information. All right, again, I'm just going to take a quick minute for some folks to join so that we can get into this great session that we're going to have with Dorothea and a couple of close financial friends. Okay, I'm so excited. It's Friday. You ready? All right. We ready, everybody? It's Friday. It's Friday Eve. You see, I'm ready for the weekend. It's Friday Eve. So we'll call that Friday. Let's get ready. Okay, everybody. I think we probably have a few people joining, but we don't want to take up much of your time. So we are going to get started, and people can just join as they get on. We're looking for you guys to comment, chat. You have questions, put them out there. If you like what we're saying or what Dorothea and the team are saying, give us a thumbs up, a heart, just engage. This is a time for you to learn more about this great author. I am so excited. This is her second book, Money Chat. I am excited about it. You should be too. If you don't already have your copy, make sure you get one. This is considered the official launch week. Last night, we had a great first virtual launch. It was in the evening for those who could make it in the evening time. We did that. And today is for those folks who said, hey, I can take time out of my day, in the middle of my day for lunch, and learn a little bit about Money Chat. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with the author. About Dorothea. She is, if you don't already know this great lady, she is an award-winning financial expert. She is a personal finance and business coach, author and CEO of Money Chat. She is also the CEO of Workspace Spark, a career growth and office decor subscription box. Known for her charismatic, no-nonsense personality, Dorothea empowers people to reach their financial, entrepreneurial, and career goals with her coaching, keynotes, and online courses. Dorothea has been featured in various national medias, including CNBC, Black Enterprise, U.S. News, USA Today, and Experian. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I bring to you the author of the second Money Chat book, Dorothea Kelly. Hey there, Dorothea.
Dorothea, your mic is muted.
Listen, if you turn yourself off mute, then people can hear you. How is it that we have been doing this forever and people are still like me coming on talking and not unmuting themselves? It's hilarious to watch. Good to see everybody. Thank you all for joining and hanging out with us last night. We had a blast. We had a party. Then we had an after party. And we're gonna be celebrating even some more this week and next week. So thank you all for joining and hanging out. Thank you for joining our lunch and learn. We have a fire lineup for you today, and I won't keep going and going and going. And I'm gonna let Cheryl bring up our first guest.
Thank you, Dorothea, Thank you, Dorothea. And I guess I did forget to introduce myself. I am Cheryl Greer. a friend of Dorothea Kelly, a user of her materials. And I just wanted to take a second so you guys would know who I am and why I'm so excited to be here today to support this virtual book launch. So next, another expert in the world here is Robin Kinney. She serves as president of Motor City Women Studios, an audio post-production company and audio engineers of Detroit, an audio engineering trade school and recording studio. Her services for others extends to volunteering as an advisory board member for Y Arts, the arts and humanities branch of the YMCA of Metropolitan Detroit, Detroit PAL, and soundgirls.org. Robin is dedicated to creating a platform for underrepresented voices in broadcasting and podcasting. She has contributed to the podcast business journal and published the top 10 mistakes new podcasters make and the Motor City Woman Planners for new podcasters, both available on motorcitywoman.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Robin Kinney.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday Eve, as you said, Cheryl. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dorothea, for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, Robin. Hey. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, I got to give a shout out to Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, for it. I've learned some financial things from Cheryl. You know, she doesn't play around when it comes to that money. So I've learned a lot from her as well. And I thank you. I love all my friends and thank everybody for being here and helping us kick off this book launch. And Robin, we're going to have a good time.
Yes, we always do.
Yes, we do. So if you are two things, if you are an author, I'm gonna pause just for a second, give y'all a chance to call your friends. If you have someone that is an author who either has a book or wants a book, if you're an expert, professional coach, consultant, whatever your expertise is, and you are either have a book now or you are thinking about writing a book and you're interested, they need to be listening to this woman speak right now. So I'm gonna give you a minute to share and give them a chance to jump on here. We're gonna dive in though. We're gonna dive in. First of all, amazing working with you. I have to tell the world it was amazing working with you, which is why I was so excited when you were able to join and come on and share about why every author needs an audiobook. So for the world out there, that's what we're going to talk about. Robin is the CEO of Audio Engineers of Detroit. Got to give that Detroit love.
Yes.
And she helped me with my audiobook. And we're going to talk about that. Not just help me. That's not really a good word. Help is not a word. She did my audio. And was very patient in the process. We'll talk about that a little later. But I would like to just let Robin share her key points on why every author should have an audiobook.
Yes, thank you, Dorothea. We've been producing audiobooks, oh my gosh, for about 8 years now. And I believe every author should offer an audiobook version of their book for several reasons. I'm going to focus on the top 3 reasons. You know how people say, you know, when a movie comes out of a book and they say, oh, if you saw the movie, you really need to read the book. Well, if I always say, if you read the book, you really need to listen to the audiobook, because the audiobook provides a deeper connection because you hear the author's voice. I listen to a lot of audiobooks myself, of course, and I can recall in listening to the Money Chat book, there's certain sections that Dorothea emphasizes, you know, certain sections that you're just not going to get from reading the book by itself. The audiobook is just an excellent supplement to your entire experience with the book. So it deepens that connection by listening to the author's voice. Okay, so that's the top reason. The second reason is that it's easier to duplicate. I'll give you an example. Let's say a celebrity mentions your book. All of a sudden, you're viral, your book is everywhere, everyone's talking about it. one key point though. Now you have to go and get all these copies duplicated. You can't keep up with demand. When you have an audiobook, it's no problem at all. Someone mentions your book, you can just point them towards downloading your audiobook and instantly they're enjoying it and passing the word. So it's easier to share. The third reason, and this is important as well, is the accessibility factor of it. Not everyone reads books. It's not easy for everyone to read. They may have vision issues. They may be a commuter and just prefer to listen. When you have an audiobook, you're extending the shelf life of your book. So, you have the printed version, you offer the printed version for people who want to read it and want that experience of turning pages. I'm still like that, but you also have people who it may be a challenge for them to read. So listening is what they prefer. So you don't want to have any blocks. You don't want to provide any barriers for people to experience the wonderful content that you're offering. And just recently, I read that the audiobook industry is knocking on $1 billion industry. It just skyrocketed lately. And I think that's because people want to learn, they want to be entertained, but they may not have the time to read a book. We're in what I call the microwave society, where people want to push a button and they want it right now. So not everyone wants that traditional book reading experience. But when you offer an audiobook, that's no problem. They go on, they download it, they can stop it. If they get busy, they stop it and come right back to it. There's different listening platforms where you just stop it. It remembers where you stopped it at and you come back right to it. So you don't have to remember. And it's just a different experience that I think if you are an author and you have a printed version and you don't have the audio version, you're really leaving money on the table, when you do that. And you don't want to do that.
No, you definitely do not want to do that. I love all the points you brought up. So now tell everybody how great it was to work with me.
It was so much fun. We got her done, that's for sure. I've listened to your audiobook, yet to be released, several times now. And it's so funny because when when there is an error, you would always say, Father.
I had to call on his name plenty of times.
But you know what? Those, it is intensive. And, Dorothea, you can share that. People think, oh, I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to read it. It's going to take a few hours. And it was not like that at all.
It wasn't. It was great. It was great working with, it's important. I'll say this. I've got a bunch of tips and I know you do too, Robin, and we're just going to kind of run through them a little bit. Everything you just said about why someone needs to, if you're an author, or if you're thinking about writing a book, why you need an audiobook is 100% spot on. I believe that one thing we have to remember, and because of the work I did and do in nonprofit education space, everybody's a different type of learner. So I 110% agree with you on that. And audiobooks are so popular right now. So you don't want to leave that money on the table at all. I also, it was super easy to work with you. So it's important who you work with.
Mm-hmm.
It was important who you work with. And because that person, it takes it's like a special set of skills. So it has to be able to work with the people. I like the fact that when I came in, it wasn't just sit down and record with you. Like you made it fun and you made me relax even when I was getting stressed out. Mm-hmm. Because you're absolutely right. You don't just sit there and record and then you're up and done. So What are some tips, additional tips you have for people who are when they're sitting down to record their audiobook?
Sure. And you mentioned one of them, when you came in, you can't bring the energy of the day to the book because the listener is going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to feel rushed, you don't want to feel tired. I remember there were times where I was like, okay, you sound tired. Do you want to stop? And you're like, no, let's just take a break. So that's one of my tips is making sure that the energy that you're bringing to the project is what you want the end user to experience. You want it to be upbeat. You want it to be fun. You want it to be engaging. Another tip, and this was something that from the producer in the engineer part of my brain, is about extra noises. What did I always say to you when you sat down?
Dorothea, why do you have the jewelry on? Didn't I tell you don't wear the jewelry?
Check that jewelry.
Take the jewelry off.
Take the jewelry off.
But in my defense, everything is content. Everything is content. Everything. So what I was trying to do was, we're getting pictures. We're doing all
right.
stuff.
I understand.
So what I would do is I would come in but then I would forget to take it off.
Yes.
So Robin would be like, Dorothea, what do you do?
those.
Take them earrings on. I got these big gigantic earrings on. I take the earrings off, take the bracelets. I got all the stuff on. And so you don't want any of that. Listen, make your life easier. I did what I was told because I want to respect the extra and respect the time, because if any slight noise, if I made a sigh, we had to re-record.
Yeah.
So if your earrings are jingling and you got stuff, or you got keys and all this, that messes up the audio.
Every little thing, because it's all about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you want people to be able to zone in on your voice, on your tone, on where you're pausing, on what you're emphasizing. Again, it's an experience, and you want people to be in the book. Like when I'm listening to Money Chat, it's not just the content of it. Is what you're emphasizing. There's key points in there that you drive home and that you repeat, and you don't want background noises and distractions to take away from that. That's why I say that, if you can reduce that, you should.
And then, so that's 1, 2. Anything else?
Yes, I have several. So we talked about energy, we talked about jewelry and things of that nature, but you also want to begin with the end in mind. So the thing about an audiobook is that it should be as close to the printed version as possible. Okay. However, there's things that you're just naturally going to throw in because you're the author, and there's things that you're going to emphasize that may not have been in the printed version. So if you can, as you're preparing for the audiobook, think about, are there certain sections of the audiobook that will be a little different from the printed version, and we can incorporate that into the audiobook, because again, I believe that when you're listening to the audiobook, you're getting extra goodness anyway, because you're hearing it as the author intended. Mm-hmm. When you're reading a book, it's going through your voice, it's going through your head and your lens. When you're listening to it, the author is feeding you exactly how he or she wants you to consume it. Mm-hmm. So that, that's another point of it. I would say don't rush it. I think we allotted 10 hours to record Money Chat, and we went over because I wanted to be able for you to take breaks and to take your time and to rest your voice. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to be strained. I didn't want you to start be like, I got to do this book, because that's energy. And you don't want that energy to come across.
That's right. And I think we had, when we initially talked, it was okay, we're going to do 2 hours at a time. I think we ended up doing like 3 hours each.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
hours each night. So that's another piece of this. You are going to have spent your entire day
Yeah.
doing what you do in your business or at work or with the kids or whatever it is that you're doing. So you have to come down
Yeah.
and get in entertainer mode,
Mhm.
because that's what it is. Now, when I was preparing, I listened to some audiobooks to determine what I wanted mine to look like and sound like and feel like, and what I didn't want.
Mhm.
You all know me, I try not to do a whole bunch of dry stuff. I didn't want it to be like, hello, this is Dorothea Kelly from Money Chat. I wanted to infuse my personality and my voice. Now, I didn't infuse 100% because it has to remain very professional. I couldn't be super silly all the time, but I wanted it to be very professional, because you're going to be downloading it on Audible, and I don't want you to say, what is this garbage Dorothea put together? Like, this is a mess. And then Robin will be like, I'm never working with her again, because that's not professional. But you have to think about what you want it to look like. So the first thing you definitely want to, not the first thing, but one of the things you definitely want to do is listen to some audio books so that you can know how you want yours to go. And you can make it your own. And please don't feel like you cannot add your personality, because you can. I also want to talk about something you just said, though, Robin, where you talked about you want the audiobook to be as close to the printed book as possible.
Yes.
So we had a lot of laughs about this, because here's the thing, and I'm telling you, authors, listen, if you wrote the book that you're reading, it is hard to just stick to what you wrote. It was for me. Some of y'all are whizzes out there, I don't know. But for me, it was hard to stick to it, because number one, just as in writing the book, you can change it a million times. Like every day, something, for me, something different and new is happening in financial news. And I could be like, oh no, that's not that right. But at some point you got to cut it off and get it out, right? So it was hard for me. Robin kept saying, Dorothea, just read it as it's written. Dorothea, just read it as it's written. And I'm like, oh, but wait a minute, that don't sound good like that. And here's the thing. Some things are going to sound better on paper than when you say them.
Mhm.
So you just got to get over yourself. Because I'm like, is that, how's that sound? The other piece is this. It was very important to me that because you're recording over several nights, we did it in about a week.
About a week.
We did it like 5 nights and a
Mhm.
Saturday or something like that. And I feel we didn't do Sunday. We did a Saturday.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that your voice and everything sounds the same. So just like singers and people who do voiceover work, you're basically doing a voiceover of your book. Hot water, hot tea, honey, lemon, keep your voice protected. One piece of advice that I was supposed to do, but I couldn't do, like try not to talk so much when you know you're going to record your audiobook. Kind of hard for somebody who talks for a living, but you want to make sure that you do protect your voice. And if you can limit your talking, I couldn't. I had coaching calls, I had other things going on, but I tried my best to protect my voice. If you are somewhere cold, you got to wrap up your neck, wrap your face up, wrap your head out. I know you can't go outside and then go into the studio. Your voice is going to be crackly, dry. It's going to be horrible. And we recorded and it was cold.
Mhm.
And I do not do
It
good
was
in the
cold.
cold. I live in a cold state, but I hate the cold. So I really had to be extra careful, because my voice is like, we don't like this air. So you have to think about those things. And don't do anything crazy. Like, don't go to a football game or some game where you're going to be yelling and rooting somebody on the week that you're about to do your audiobook. That's not a good idea. So just think about those things. I have some more things. I have written down a lot of things. So first of all, we allotted about 2 to 3 hours per night.
Yeah.
Don't try to do too much more than that.
Nope.
Because what happens is what, Robin?
You'll start to strain. You'll start to get agitated. You'll start to rush yourself. And the thing about that is when your producer is then editing, it's just more difficult. And, and I've worked with clients that, towards the end, I'm just ready for this to be over. And you can hear it. You can hear it in the recording. And there have been some times where I've slowed the speed of their voice down, because it just started to
Yeah.
to increase. And so
And that
it
messes
didn't
up the
match.
quality. That
Mhm.
messes up
It
the
didn't
quality.
match the beginning of the book.
Yeah, that messes up the quality 100%. You like, again, you think you're going to go in there, you're just going to talk, and you think that you can just talk. I did practice before we went into the studio. So I had already, the publishing of the book has been a little over a year-long process. So I knew from the beginning I wanted to do audiobook. So I met with somebody who does voiceover work and asked her to listen to some of my stuff and just see how I sounded. I did that. I also listened to voiceover. I did some research on voiceovers and how to record an audiobook and how to, manage your voice. And then, of course, when I hired Robin, she sat with me and gave me some things to do as well. So that is the thing. And also eat before you go into that studio.
Right. I don't want to hear no grumbling tummies.
My stomach was going crazy.
No grumbling tummies, because if you have the type of microphone that you should have, it's gonna pick up. It's gonna pick up on that. Little grumbling tummies, and we were like, "Oh, we got to do that again."
Yes,
We knew when it was time to wrap up.
Yes, we did, and then we did end up doing a push just to make sure we got it out there and everything was good. I think the last night we did about 4 hours.
Yeah,
that was the
we said,
longest.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. You want to dress comfortably.
Yes.
You got to be comfy. You're gonna be there for 3 hours. Like it's
yes, and you're moving and you're emphasizing, and
Yes.
so I always say cotton is best.
Yes.
Nothing that is going to, bump up against something. When it comes to clothing, I have some people who come in and take their shoes off. Some of our clients like to stand, like during the end, Dorothea stood, or you can sit, so we try to accommodate whatever's going to bring the best out of the project.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of fun with it. We actually got some content.
Yes.
And it was very nice. Now, what do you say to folks who say, okay, cool, I'm trying to save money, I want to record at home?
Well, a couple things. Depends on if your plan is to publish your audiobook on Amazon and Audible. So you want people to be able to go to Amazon, you want to increase your reach to a global reach, then there's certain requirements, certain sound requirements that they require that is very difficult to impossible to get if you're doing it from home, unless you're a professional and you have like a sound treated room. Like I'm just in my dining room, so it's not sound treated. When you're in a sound treated room, there's not going to be echo, there's not going to be, sound waves bouncing all around. For a typical person, you're just in a room and you think, oh, this would be good. It's not going to pass the rigorous inspection of Amazon and Audible. So you may be throwing money down the drain by trying to do it at home. Again, unless you have a studio at home, just go to a studio and record it.
So let me tell you, you don't want to, this is why we pushed to the 4 hours that one night. We had a piece to do.
Yes.
And Robin was like, so what you got at home? I said, well, at home, I have a setup, but I'm in a very open space, Mm-hmm. So it's going to echo, right?
Yeah.
So Robin's like, okay, you got a closet. Go in the closet, put a blanket over your head, get the microphone, I said, you know what? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So that's why we pushed that night, because all I envisioned was me in my closet with my clothes over my head.
Yeah, I'm about to say it can be done, but it's just easier to go to a professional. Like, I tell people when they're like, oh, well, I just order a microphone and do it at home. I could do my own hair. But why? I could go to a professional who could do it in half the time, and it comes off, 10 times better. It's the same thing.
Yes. So save the money
and the time.
Yeah, save. What I'm saying is save up the money. It costs you between $3,000 and $4,000 depending on the length and the size of your book,
Yes.
to get, and it costs more. The thicker, like if you got a book like Michelle Obama, you know,
Right.
that's 10 grand right there.
Yeah. Because,
But
because it depends on the length of the book, because one thing that we haven't talked about as much is the post-production.
Yes, go
part
into
of
it. Go into it. Go into it.
So we're in post-production right now, which means that we have all the raw audio that we captured during that week. So we've gone through the first round of edits, and the first round is just looking for any mispronunciations, errors, very clear key things like that. Second round, so that's the first wash. The second wash is any background noises, any mistakes. So me and my team literally have the script of the book up and we're listening. Does everything line up? And I was taking notes, of course, during the recording. So I know there's parts that were moved, there were parts that were edited. So it's making sure that everything flows with that. That's the second round. Third round is inputting any type of, like right now, we're including music in certain parts of it. Again, with that experience, they want, Dorothea wants you to get the full Money Chat experience. So we're putting some customization on it. That's the third round. Fourth round is getting it ready for Audible. Audible has certain requirements with regards to the background noise, what we call room tone, noise leveling, oh my gosh, just the length of it. Like, for example, they want 1 second of room tone for each chapter. Room tone is just basically, what did the room sound like before you started talking? I
don't even know what room tone is. Like, I'm like, what?
Very specific. So, that's the post-production part of it. And you want to work with an expert. Could you figure it out yourself? Yeah, but it's a headache. It's a headache. And then you could get denied, Audible could say, this doesn't meet our requirements, go back to the drawing board, and why waste your time and your energy and get frustrated?
Why waste time? So in your planning, plan to have an audiobook. I agree 100%. Every author should have an audiobook. So while you're planning, plan to have your audiobook. Now, your audiobook does not have to come out at the same time that your book does.
Right.
It actually gives you a chance to do like a second level of launch with your book, and you can build some momentum around that. I wanted it to all come out at the same time or close, because my audiobook will be ready next month, because I wanted to make sure that everybody who pre-ordered, because that was one of the bonuses, I wanted to make sure everybody who pre-ordered got the audiobook.
Yes.
At least within 30 days of them pre-ordering the book. So that was important for me. For you, you can still offer it as a bonus in your pre-order and just let them know, hey, this will be available in the fall, or not season oriented, but in 3 months, in 2 months.
Right.
As long as you tell people when, they're okay with that.
Yeah. I really liked, Dorothea, that you're offering it as an incentive, because that was actually one of a reason that I had down that authors should offer an audiobook version of their book, because you can offer it as an incentive. It doesn't have to come out at the same time, but then you can follow up with people and say, hey, if you pre-order, you also get the audio version, which
Absolutely.
is a different experience, guys. Don't think that, oh, I have the printed version. Do I really need to pre-order so that I get the audiobook version? Yes, you do. It is a different experience. It's so much fun. It just makes the words pop off of the page.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about, I'm going to share a little bit about what I would suggest authors do. So that what I would suggest authors do so that when you're preparing your audiobook, at what point you should do the audiobook. Let's talk about that. So, number one, your book should go through copy editing and proofread. By the time you get to audiobook recording, your book should be final. You should not be finding any more errors. There should be no more errors, right? That's first. Secondly, and a sidebar, if you're saying, well, I'm not going to do an audiobook, I would still read your book to yourself to make sure that there are no errors, because sometimes you'll think something is final,
Right.
and when you get to reading it out loud, then you're going to catch things.
Yeah.
So before you do your final uploads, you want to read it, record it, and go through every chapter. And if that takes you, however, you could do a chapter a day or a chapter of, over several months, but just do that before you upload finals so that you can make sure that your interior design is absolutely correct. Because you don't normally find a lot of mistakes once you get to audiobook, because once it's gone through copy editing and once it's gone through proofreading, there really shouldn't be any mistakes. But if you read it out loud, you might find a few.
Yes.
So that's a key point. Ideally, that's what you want to do. So the other piece of that is, so you've got your book, you've got your audiobook. You want to get everything done, planned, have a timeline for when everything is going to be published, and plan your promotions around that. Do your best not to be planning promotions as your, let me say this correctly. I don't want to confuse anybody. Before you finish the book, you're going to be promoting it. I was telling people the book was coming. I was showing behind the scenes what was happening. While you're working on the book, you're going to be promoting it. But do not set your date until you have the physical book in hand. You may want to rush it. You may want to, I just got to get it done. I want to get it done. Things may be going on in your life that's like, oh, I can't wait. But at the same time, you don't want to rush it. Things go bump. Maybe another time I will share all the things that went bump, but take my word for it. Turn this thing off. Take my word for it. You want to have your book in hand before you set your book launch date. Okay, that's first. Summer, unless your book is about summer, you really don't want to be launching a book in the summertime because everybody's chilling and there. But normally any of the other seasons, you can launch your book. Summer, Christmas is also good because you can get those Christmas sales if you plan it well. But you just want to, if you set the date, then you're rushing to the date and you're not comfortable and it's not easier on you. You're causing yourself more stress than you have to. Okay. So that I really wanted to talk about that timeline, that audiobook piece. Robin, thank you so much. So we could go on and on.
Right. My
We
pleasure.
had a great time. Like I said, Robin made it very comfortable for me. We had a blast. We laughed, we joked, it wasn't a chore. And that was important for me because in the midst of everything I had to do around my business, around the book launch, I didn't need one more chore. So it was very comfortable, very professional.
Thank you.
And the other piece about working with someone who is experienced and knowledgeable in audiobooks and in business in general, and has done, like, I know, Robin, I know you have people flying in all over the world to come to your studio in Detroit. So the advantage for me, why I had to work with someone like you, with you, is because I needed that knowledge. I couldn't work with somebody who had just started or didn't understand financial things even, because you were able to kind of look in the book and say, maybe say it this way. Often I had to stop and say, does that sound right?
Right.
Somebody else would have been like,
Just
you
read
tell
it.
us. I needed somebody that was in my corner. So that's another thing. When you work with people, when you choose who you're going to work with, experience is important, and you may have to pay a little bit more for it. And I know we are all on a budget. Y'all know I'm about that budget, but save your money so you can work with people who are experienced. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
for
Thank you
joining
for the
us
opportunity
today.
to serve.
Any last tips you have for authors? Please share any last tips you have for authors or aspiring authors who may want to have an audiobook recorded.
My last tip, I know I talk a lot about energy and intention. When, of course, as an author, you're pouring yourself into this book, into the content of the book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And I've worked with both types of authors. begin with the end in mind. Knowing what you want the tone of the book to be is going to prepare you for the voiceover part of it. So I was just reading in the comments, someone asked, well, how do you ensure that you keep the same tone? Well, you want to make sure you have the same room setup, depending on where you're recording, is the setup the same? Are you using the same type of microphone? Do you have the same audio equipment? But also thinking of the energy that you're bringing in, like Dorothea has mentioned several times of, okay, I had a busy day. When you come in, it has a, okay, this is fun. I'm bringing fun into it. I'm bringing information into it. I'm bringing changing lives into it, because I really believe that's what the Money Chat book does. From reading it myself, is that it will change lives. And I want everyone to not only purchase the book, but make sure you pre-order so that you can get that audiobook version and you can experience what I've experienced. So thank you, Dorothea, for the opportunity.
Aw, thank you so much. Thank you. And how can people get connected with you? Where should they reach out?
Sure. Audio Engineers of Detroit is located in the heart of the city at Woodward and Warren, right across from Wayne State University in Midtown. Our website is aedetroit.com. We're on all social media platforms, Audio Engineers of Detroit. And that's for audiobook. Our post-production company is Motor City Woman. Post-production focuses on everything from podcast to audiobook editing, any type of post-production work. And our social media is just at Motor City Woman, and our website is motorcitywoman.com. And we work with clients across the country. Yes.
Thank you so much. I thought you had an international client too.
We do. We have an international client. So I'll say we have clients all across the world.
Yes,
thank you, Dorothea, for the reminder.
But listen, thank you so much, Robin. I can't thank you enough for making the experience so wonderful for me. Right now, we are about to do another giveaway. Okay, so yesterday, and we have reached out to everybody who won yesterday. We have a couple of things we're going to give away today. So we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it the same way. We're going to do the first person that got on today. We'll do that. So the first person who joined us today will get one of these wonderful boxes. So I talked about this yesterday. This is the Money Chat box. This is a financial gift box. This is a collaboration with Workspace Spark on this one, but there's also a Money Chat box where you can gift anyone in your world who you believe could benefit from the book, the goodies. There's a lot of fun financial goodies in here. This is a surprise box, and we're going to gift that to the first person who logged on today and joined us for this, for our virtual party. That's one thing. And then I think the other one, what is the other one? Bear with me a second. Let me see. You did a birthday yesterday. Oh, I did a birthday. I can't do a birthday today because yesterday I did a birthday. I can't do a birthday today. What's his birthday coming up? Oh, what is this month? It's April. Oh, who hasn't? Oh, that could be a lot of people. It's the day to today. Whose birthday is close to today? That's a good one, Kristen. Thank you. Whose birthday? So I'm gonna go grab. Bear with me. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the goodies that I'm gonna give away. But whose birthday? Drop in the chat. Whose birthday is closest to today? All right. So we're going to give away, yesterday I gave away one signed copy, but we're going to give away a gift pack that also includes Happy Money, Happy Life. Ooh, Happy Money, Happy Life. Can you see that? There you go. I cannot listen. Don't mind me. I'm just fighting with the camera here. But we're going to give away from my friend Jason V. Tug a gift package with the book and some other financial goodies. Happy Money, Happy Life. This was just published this month as well. So we're going to give away a prize pack for this book. That's going to be our next giveaway. All right. I think we have Dershawn up next. Oh.
Can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hello. Hey, everybody. All right, so I am up next. My turn?
Yes.
All right, so I have the pleasure of bringing up Madam Money, Miss Tara Jackson. She is a popular personal finance expert, media contributor. She's a TV and radio personality, spokesperson, brand ambassador, award-winning international speaker, and the best-selling author of Financial Fornication, 4 Financial Languages, The Secret to Communicating About Money, and the Duopreneur Bible, 10 Commandments to Starting a Successful Side Business. Tara's extensive professional background in the financial services industry includes bank officer, corporate trainer, vice president of lending, as well as executive VP and interim CEO at an Atlanta, Georgia-based credit union. Tara inspires her audience to have more pleasurable and enjoyable relationships with their finances. Tara, Madam Money, welcome to the Money Chat, hashtag Money Chat book launch. We're so excited to have you here today. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today, Tara. I appreciate you. We've been friends for a long time.
Long time. We
Long
are
time.
birthday sisters.
Yes, I was just about to say, and we are birthday sisters. We are both February birthdays. Isn't that
February 11th.
February 11th. That's right. That's right. So we are birthday twins. So Tara, I want to listen. Hey. Okay. 4 Financial Languages. This book is amazing. So I want to dig into this a little bit. You have really the secrets, 4 Financial Languages, the secrets to communicating about money. I think that this should be taught in school. I mean, really, this should be a guideline in schools. So let's talk about it a little bit. First, I'd like to, we introduced you, but I would like for you to have a chance to just tell us a little bit more about you before we get into the questions I have for you today.
Well, you've heard about my pedigree. I think what's most important is that I am a mother of an amazing 27-year-old. Wait a minute, how old am I? Yeah, he's 27.
You're like me, like how old
is he? Okay. Yeah, amazing 27-year-old young man. I'm just that chick. I'm just that cool chick that you like to hang around, even though most of my career has been corporate. A lot of people think that I'm more serious and more stuck up than I probably am, but not
at all. Listen,
you've hung out with me,
yes,
the God-fearing woman that likes to sit at the bar. Don't judge me.
Absolutely.
It just is what it is. But I love helping people, and I love teaching people about money, especially from my mistakes. I have several confessions, with my first book, Financial Fornication. My next book that's coming out, only y'all will know about this, but the next book that's coming out, you all actually, this is the first time I've said it live.
Right here on Money Chat Live.
Yes. And the next book that's coming out is called Confessions of a Financial Fornicator. So I'm going to share my 10 confessions of the financial mistakes. And some of the chapters are going to be my foreclosure confession, my depression confession when suicide was an option, because the reason why I want to share this is because a lot of people are suffering in silence. And I need you all to know that a lot of people are going through what you're going through. And there, you know, what Jesus taught us is there's resurrection. If you didn't learn anything else, he taught us there's resurrection, even in our finances.
Yes.
So it's a hard book that I'm writing. It's very difficult to write. It's very transparent, but hopefully it will save someone's financial life. So
Oh,
you all are the first ones to hear it.
Thank you
First
so
time it came out of
much.
my mouth in public. So that means
love
the
it.
universe is going to make it happen. So
That's right. It's happening and it's needed. And you're right. I tell the story about how I was crying and praying over my wallet. I heard someone say, get your wallet and pray over it every day until your finances change. And I remember those days. So you're right. It is very, very important. And thank you for sharing it, dropping it right here. I can't wait. So you know, we're going to share it with the Money Chat fam. We're going to blast it all over as soon as it drops. But let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna have to take some notes because you are always dropping gems. But let's first tell us about the 4 financial languages and what are the secrets to communicating about money.
Well, the reason why I wrote the book is because I spent years in research and didn't even know I was in years of research. Several marriage counselors and pastors used to call me in when their clients were arguing about money. And so my job was to listen, interpret, then translate to them what they were saying, you know, in their own financial language. And that's when I determined that they're speaking, you know, it's not that they're saying separate things or different things. They're relatively wanting the same thing. They're just communicating it differently. And because they're communicating it differently, it's causing triggers, negative triggers with the other person, right? And so I identified that there were 4 dominant financial languages. And the reason why savers and spenders argue about money is because they're speaking a different language. So it's
here's something you said that I want people to really hone in on and think about. A lot of times when people say they either split or even, and not just, you know, any kind of relationship, they say, oh, it's a lack of communication. But often it's not a lack of communication because we're all communicating in some kind of way. And that's just what you were talking about. We're all communicating in some kind of way. So why do you think people argue about money? Argue about money.
The reason why they're arguing about money, like I said, is because they're speaking a different financial language, right? So it's like if I speak Greek and you speak Spanish and we love each other, we may be saying the same thing, but if I don't understand your language, I'm not going to understand what you're saying. And there's going to be misunderstandings. So that's what happens when we talk about money. When a saver talks about money, a saver is going to say a word like budget, and a spender is going to be like, that's a B word. We don't hear the word budget. We hear diet, deprivation. I can't. We ain't got time for that negativity. And so there's certain negative triggers that happen. And that's why most couples argue about money, is because of how they need to be communicated about money, and how they communicate about money is different than their partner.
Right. Okay. So now what are the 4 financial languages?
The 4 dominant financial languages are saving, spending, investing, and giving. Okay. So for example, savers need safety, security, control. They love the word budget because that means they can control what they have. They can name their dollars, tell their money where it's going to go, right? And if their money goes below a certain threshold, they're going to freak the hell out. They just are, right?
Yes.
And if a saver feels like their money is in jeopardy of being spent or taken or whatever, they will hide that money and will always be broke to everybody else. You will go to them and say, hey, can I borrow some money? I ain't got no money, I'm broke. And they sitting on $2 million in an offshore account.
Oh my goodness, I'm not showing this video to my husband because he said that to me. He said he's learned 10 years in. I'm like, dang, you learned my secret. He's like, you broke for real.
A saver ain't never broke. They're broke to you, but they ain't never broke. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna let you finish, but you just stepped on all my toes, but go right ahead.
I'm just saying. So a saver, and also they're considered the wealth wardens. So if the saver's in charge of, say, a vacation budget, and you say, can we get some pizza? You gonna give them a $5 and say, go to Caesars, go figure it out. And Caesars, I don't even know if they have $5 pizzas no more. Like, what we gonna do with it? That's a slice, right? But yeah, the savers. Now the spenders, which is my financial language, our pleasure principle is the transaction.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's $1 or $1 million, it's the transaction, right? So now you may have a fetish, you may have, a vice. Some people's vice may be shoes, maybe gadgets, maybe cars, maybe whatever. It's the transaction. Have you ever been in someone's closet and they have all these clothes and they still have price tags on it?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the clothes, even though they like nice clothes. If it was a clothes, they would wear all the clothes, but there's some things they never wore. It's the transaction. And when we feel the least, we spend the most, because that transaction, something about that transaction that works on that serotonin level.
Yeah.
It's just organic, orgasmic.
Retail therapy.
Retail therapy is real to us.
Yes.
Okay. It's very real to us. And like I said, we don't take keen to that B word, because we hear diet, deprivation, I can't, no. And we just don't have time for that negativity in our life. And don't tell a spender not to spend money, because if you tell a spender not to spend money, we're going to spend your money, our money, and everybody else's money. We will retaliate financially, because we worked hard for this. And especially if you're a narcissistic spender, where you say, I worked hard for this, I deserve this, I'm going to buy me this. Never tell a spender not to spend money. There's ways to communicate. And there has to be balance. You have to give them an opportunity to spend, help them, let them be part of the decision-making versus being told what to do. Absolutely. I mean, and that's with anyone. No one wants to be told what to do.
Right.
Spenders, because we like to spend, we will spend on savings. We will spend on investing. We will spend on giving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Semantics are everything. If you tell us not to do something, or you say we can't spend this money, we're going to spend the money. But if you say, hey, babe, we have $500 extra to spend, we already know what we're going to spend it on. We just need guidelines.
Yes.
We need boundaries, right?
Yes. I love it. Okay.
You
so
have the investor.
The next one. Yes.
Investors, their pleasure principle is the return on investment. They're in it to win, right? They understand there's risk. They understand they can lose it all, but they know they can win it big too. So they're always looking for the return on investment. That's why you have people that invest in people. You have people that invest in businesses. You have people that invest their time in church, their time and so forth, right? The people that invest their money, the reason why they do it, they're highly educated. And it's not mean they have PhD. They actively are active learners. They actively seek information so they can make the right decision, because they are not emotional spenders or savers. They are factual. So this is what it's going to do. This is what I can get. Yeah, I can lose my money, but I can win big if I do it the right way. So they are looking for. The only thing with investors, don't ever lie to them, and don't ever don't ever not answer their questions. If they have questions, if you don't know, tell them you don't know, you'll find out. Okay.
Yes.
Because they'll kill the deal. Okay.
Right. Shut it down.
And our givers, I love the givers because they're innately fiscally bilingual. Okay. Fiscally bilingual, which means they innately speak more than one financial language.
We're learning new words here today. Fiscally bilingual.
Exactly. They're all in the book, and they're all defined.
Yes.
Okay? So the reason why I say that is because givers have a heart to give. They want to know, how can I help? What can I do? How can I help? Right. So if a giver can give money, they're probably also a saver. If a giver gives gifts, they're probably also a spender, because they like to buy gifts. They just give them to someone else, right?
Yes.
If a giver likes to invest in businesses or help churches or anything like that, they're probably also an investor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So in givers, their first inkling is, how can I help? How can I be a resource? The difference between a loving spender and a giving spender is that I'm going to buy me stuff, but I'm going to buy you stuff because I want you to love me more, or that's how I show my love. A giver will just give gifts because that's just their heart to give, not because they're looking for anything in return.
That is so good. Oh my God, you just gave us our entire life right there. I am a saver and a giver. I give money. And I'm gonna tell you, you are spot on, because when I didn't have money, I needed money. I didn't need gifts. I
Right.
needed money. So I give money because I know I give money to people who I know could use a hand, use a leg up. You know, you needed grocery money. You needed to pay the light bill. You know, that was my thing. So I reciprocate what I needed,
Right.
what my experience was. So you are really giving me my entire life for sure. And I know everybody else. But now how can we, because now my husband, let me see, he's a spender.
Mhm.
Listen, he's going to live that life. It's going to be all good. So we balance each other out.
Right.
But how can we communicate? Like, we needed you like 10 years ago with this, but how can we communicate with different financial, you know, one is a spender, one's an investor. How do we communicate with each other?
Well, the first thing is you got to buy the book, because I give you examples
Oh,
of
yes.
all of the scenarios.
Buy the
All of
book.
the scenarios I give you, and I give you examples of how to communicate, right? So people
Right.
will tell you what to do, but I also tell you how to do it. So I give you an example of the conversation.
So to that end, how can they buy the book?
You can go to madammoney.com, MADAMMONEY.com, or you can go to Amazon. Or you can Google me, boo. That's all. I'm just saying.
We're gonna have the website and everything down there. Now, is it just for couples?
No, that's a misnomer that is just for couples. It's for anyone that you communicate money with. So it could be your friends, it could be your family members, it could be your children, business partners, which is very important. It's just like a spouse or a couple, right? Because you all are delving into money together. So it's very important to know if you are a saver, if you're in a business with a spender, because the spender is going to find reasons to buy a whole bunch of stuff for the business.
Absolutely.
If you're a saver, you're going to find reasons not to have to buy anything. You need to understand if you're dealing with an investor. The investor sees the return on investment. And if you're a saver, you're scared of an investor because you're afraid they're going to invest all your money and lose all your money, and then you won't have it. So that's why savers and investors argue about money, right? Givers and spenders, givers, spenders, givers, savers, giver investors, they argue about money all the time because neither one of saver, spender, or investor wants to give their money away. They don't necessarily want to give their money away. So they're always telling the giver, you need to stop giving so much. You need to be careful who you give to. Why are you giving to this church? Why are you giving to this family member? And all of that. And when you tell a giver not to give, they're not going to stop giving. They're just going to give behind your back.
Listen, we can't stop.
You're going to give behind their back. And they're not going to know it, but you're still going to give because that's your heart. That's just who you are.
Yeah, I can't stop. I'm going to tell you, it's been in me from day one. I told the story yesterday of how I give. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be rich so that I could help other people. That's where the groceries and all this comes in at. And then when I was a young single mother, I even gave then, or I would rally my friends and we would do that. So it's a conversation I actually, and this is important in any relationship. It's a conversation I had to have with my husband when we were dating, because everybody's not used to that. Like, what are you doing? Like, what they got people over here that, well, maybe they don't. So that's why I do the community work that I do. That's why I'm so involved in all the nonprofit stuff, because as a giver, I have to do it.
Right.
That's who I am. So I love that you are spread. Everybody does need to get the book, because what you're sharing will help us understand each other. Even my friends, when we're around, it helps us understand each other's personalities. I think we were, as a friend group, some of my friend groups, we were doing like some giving during the pandemic, and we were going to do all these things. And it helps you understand why. And like somebody like me, we jump right on that. But as a giver, I also have to respect when somebody else is like, no, I'm good. Like, you can't get mad at people when they don't want to give.
See, the challenges of givers too is very hard because I'm a giver as well, right? I can actually speak in all language. And that's what I want people to do, is learn how to speak in all 4 languages when it serves you, right? So you speak saving so you can build a foundation. You speak spender so you can enjoy life. You speak investor so you can build your wealth. And you speak giving because that's the law of prosperity. is that you cannot receive with a closed fist, right? So you must give. So the whole thing about givers, though, when you're a true giver, you have a really hard time asking for help. I will give you money. I will give whatever. All you got to do is just ask me.
Yeah.
But I have the hardest time asking for help when I need help.
Yeah.
It's just something about it. It could be pride. It could be ego. I am the one that's supposed to help. You know what I'm saying? That's
Or not wanting to bother people.
I don't want to bother people. They got
Not
their
wanna
own
bother
problems.
people.
They got their own bills. They got
Yes.
this and everything. Like, I don't want to be
Yes.
a burden. All
Yes.
that stuff. But we will get on the other person that thinks that way and didn't come to us and ask us
Yeah.
for help.
This
Because
is
if
true.
I have the ability to help you, I'm going to give to you. I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
If you don't tell me you need help, I can't help you. Now you're taking away my blessing. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And we have to learn how to, one, ask for help. And then two, we have to be willing and open to be receiving of help as well. Because sometimes we'll block somebody else's blessing. Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Sometimes when people give to you, it's not for you.
Yeah.
It's the blessing that they want to give.
Yeah.
That's their blessing.
That's right.
Oh,
I love it.
and givers, make sure you put your financial oxygen mask on first, because some givers will give their last and then they have nothing left because the people
Yeah.
that gave to them are not the same givers.
Yes.
So just because
Yes.
you give to a person doesn't mean they're going to give it back.
That's true.
Sometimes you have to learn how to give to yourself first so that you can give more to other people later.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So much. Now tell everyone how they can, I know we said how they can buy the book. Repeat it one more time for the people in the back, how they can connect with you.
MadamMoney.com, MadamMoney.com. You can Google me, boo, Tara Jackson with 2 R's. You can also follow me on social media, all social media at Ms. Madam Money, MSMADAMMONEY.
Yes, and we're going to drop all those good nuggets. We're going to have all of that ready for you and drop below. But we are also going to give away a prize pack with the 4 financial languages. This is something everyone needs to read this book. So we're going to give away a prize pack. We did birthdays yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to surprise somebody who's on the feed. If you want this book, drop it down that you want, drop me. I want it.
Say
So
me.
Me. And we will choose a winner so that you can get this book from Tara, Miss Madam Money Jackson. She is amazing. Make sure you are following her. This is it is amazing. I can't believe how you just read me up and down and through just now on my own stuff. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for always celebrating me and always supporting me, the Money Chat movement. And we will see you soon. And I'll let you know who wins the book.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
congratulations. I'm so excited for
thank
you.
you. Thank
I
you
love
so
I
much.
love the book. Everybody needs to get the Money Chat book. Just go on and do it. It's going to save your life. Trust me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Who's Dershawn? Hey,
Yes.
Dershawn. How's you doing all right back there?
I am doing wonderfully well.
Good. Well, listen, everybody, thank you all for joining us today. It has been wonderful. I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you, Dershawn and the team you can't see that's running around my house right now and helping me pull everything together, getting books and everything. Everyone who won, we will be sending you some things out. Somebody on the team will be reaching out to you. Everyone that was a guest here, the team will also be pulling together all of their information so that you can have it. Check your email. We're going to send everything out via email so that you can have it as well.
Yes, and can I just reiterate, go get the book. If you did not get #MoneyChat, the book, please go out and get this book. I promise you, if you read that first book 10 times amplified, this book is going to save your chat about your money. I promise you. Go grab it. Go to moneychat.com.
Moneychatbook.com.
That book. moneychatbook.com. Get it while you can get some freebies attached to it, including the audiobook that Robin spoke about. She gave some awesome nuggets.
Isn't that good?
Oh my goodness, some great nuggets. Follow her as well. Make sure you check out Madam Money's
Yes.
book as well. We just gave one away. I just want to say to you, Dorothy, I just wish you so much success with this book. I know that it's going to be a blessing to so many people. Keep doing what you're doing. You know that I love you, and hashtag Money Chat for life.
Thank you so much, Dershawn. I love you back. And thanks everybody for joining us. You all have a great rest of your day. We are going to continue the celebration offline.
Wrap it up for that.
Moneychatbook.com. Everybody get your book and share.
Bye.